Screen Park Unlimited.
This is episode 18, and these two ghost stories are based in the Isle of Wight. So the first one is called Ghost Trains at Cowes. When you live in a house which backs onto a railway line, you quickly get used to the noise of trains passing day and night. The sound of braking, shunting and whistles. However, in 1986, when Margaret Elbridge moved into a semi-detached house in Gordon Row, Cowes, which has the former Cowes Newport railway line at the bottom of the garden, she was astonished to hear the sound of the trains running through the old tunnel, for the line had been abandoned many years earlier. I thought I was dreaming. The first time it happened, there were the muffled sounds of steam trains and shunting noises coming from the back garden, where the track used to run. I could never see anything. I would just hear them arriving at the station and pulling away again. There was the sound of wheels on tracks, of engines and rolling stock being uncoupled, and the hiss of the steam engines. The train noises usually occurred very late at night or early in the morning, when the town was quiet. My children never heard anything. They just laughed at me whenever I told them. I heard the sounds, Margaret said. Judith Dibham has heard those trains too. She has lived in the house since 1994, and occasionally in the middle of the day she too hears those ghostly sounds, and old-fashioned steam locomotives pass through the tunnel at the end of the garden. Beth Thompson knew nothing about the trains when she bought the house from Margaret, and although her room overlooks the garden and tunnel, she has yet to hear them. However, the affectionate little ghost of Whiskey the cat, who died in 2006, makes her presence felt regularly. The spirit of an elderly man has been seen standing at the top of the stairs, and Judith is also aware of a former inhabitant of the house who passes through the hallway, leaving a faint but unmistakable aroma of cigarette smoke in his wake as he checks that all is well. So the next ghost story from this episode is called The Miller's Ghost. The ghostly hunched figure of Miller at Yarford near Shorewell trudges across the road late at night with a heavy sack on his back. A mill has probably stood on the site since the Middle Ages. The present building dates back to the 1700s, and for over 2 centuries its stones ground corn, barley and oats for local farmers until the mid-1960s. The mill was still paying its way, but when the last miller, Stocky Salter, retired in 1970, the business closed for good. John Aptwell, who worked at Yarford Mill and lived in the old cottages next to the huge water wheel, often felt a strong but friendly presence around the house. The ghost also appeared near the old mill pond, and when Yarford Mill was open to the public as a tourist attraction for a number of years, visitors saw him there too. 2 sightings several months apart both happened at around 2 a.m. on clear moonlight Moonlit nights. A taxi driver taking visitors to Brightstone Holiday Centre saw a ghostly figure in front of him, crossing the lane outside the mill. The man who was carrying a heavy sack simply vanished as he reached the mill. Roger, John's son, also saw the same apparition, still with its sacks, as he came home late one night. The description told in both cases, for Roger clearly saw a stooped figure with a weighty load on its shoulder tray passing across the lane to the mill. The ghostly miller on his way to grind a sack of corn, perhaps. So that's the end of that that episode of the Ghost Stories. So it's time to say cue those credits.